All right, thanks, guys. St. Peter's takes on Clemson, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off at Clemson. The Tigers open the betting as the 22-point favorite, and the total at 135 even. And since those markets opened this one up, no real surprises here as Clemson took a little bit of early money in the early going there. We've also saw steady movement toward the over in that one as well. Right now, Clemson is minus 22.5 with the total moving upward to 135 and a hook. So once again, the Tigers open 22, now 22.5. Total open 135 up to 135 and a hook. 70% are leaning Clemson, 64% shaded toward the under. And at the moment, St. Pete's is plus 26.20 for some money line cash. Now, if you like St. Pete's in an upset, you're actually not in a bad spot here. Their opponents, the Clemson Tigers, are just 1-6 against the spread overall for the year. They're also 0-4 ATS in their games on their home court. Meanwhile, even furthermore, Clemson failed to cover in 6 out of their last 7, laying the points. They're also 0-4 against the spread after 4 or more days off, so really sluggish coming into those games, especially when it comes to covering the spread. Now, scoring-wise, Clemson is 3-1 to the under in their games at home. They're also 2-0 to the under in their games at the current posted total. Meanwhile, on the St. Pete side of things, they're 3-2 to the under in their last 5 ball games. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the half a point, buy it up, and take St. Pete's plus 23 in an upset against the spread and the under 135.5 in that one. With that said, I just want to take a quick timeout and quickly welcome you to the show. I got some lines and personal leans out for Tuesday's college basketball action. But before we get into some more of that, I just want to quickly remind you to check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage. And with a documented win percentage of 60% for the entire year of 2017, you're certainly costing yourself some valuable information each and every day you're not subscribed. Now, memberships begin at just $1.99 per month. There's also plenty of free content there as well. So once again, please feel free to just hit that pause button right now. Open up your browser. All you got to do is type in patreon.com/BrockPage. It'll only take you a few seconds. Link is in the description section below. And if you are a current patron of mine and you're currently watching me right now, I simply cannot thank you enough. You most certainly make it all worth it. And with all that said and done, let's go ahead and hop right back into some more lines and personal leans for Tuesday's NBA action. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got Detroit, Dayton. I'm not sure if that one's on the board here. No, it's not. Detroit, Dayton, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Dayton. The Dayton Flyers open the betting as the 14-point favorite, and the total at 142.5. And since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing steady money on Dayton. We're also seeing steady money on the over. Right now, the Flyers are minus 14.5. Total moved upward to 146. So once again, Dayton open minus 14 up to minus 14.5. Total open 142 and a hook up to 146. 61% are leaning Dayton, 62% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, Detroit is plus 975 for some money line cash. Now, if you like Detroit in an upset in this matchup here, you're in a pretty good spot. They're one of the best covering teams in Division I. They're 7-1 against the spread overall for the year. They successfully covered the number in 5 out of their last 6 when catching the points. Detroit scoring 74 points per contest on the offensive side of things. They're also 7-0 against the spread in their last 7 straight. Now, on the Dayton side of things, not so similar story there. They're just 3-4 against the spread overall for the year. They failed to cover in 3 out of their last 4 at home. This Dayton offense is putting up just 69 points per contest. They're also shooting just 47% from the field. Now, scoring-wise, Dayton is 5-2 to the under overall for the year. Detroit's 3-2 to the under in their games on the road this year themselves. So with all that said and done, I'm going to take the underdog in this matchup here, catching the double digits. Give me Detroit plus 15 after buying the half a point and the under 146 in that one. Next game, I know this one's on the board. Yeah, I'm talking about Notre Dame, Oklahoma. That is an, where's that game at? Is that a neutral site? I believe so. Oklahoma, Notre Dame, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off at a neutral site. I forget where it's at, but yeah, that is a neutral site game. Anyway, 7 o'clock tip-off. Oklahoma, Notre Dame. Oklahoma opened the betting as the 3-point favorite, and the total at 142. Since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing a slight fade of Oklahoma in the early going here. We're also seeing money on the over when it comes to the scoring as well. So right now, Oklahoma's minus 2.5. Total moved upward to 143.5. Once again, Oklahoma opened minus 3 down to minus 2.5. Total open 142 up to 143 and a hook. The Sooners are catching 58% of the consensus right now, and at the moment, 52% are shaded toward the under. Notre Dame is plus $1.25 for some money line cash. Now, Notre Dame is just 3-4 against the spread overall for the year. They failed to cover in 3 out of their last 5, taking on teams allowing more than 72 points per contest. Very bizarre stat there. Meanwhile, on the Oklahoma side of things, they're 6-1 against the spread overall for the year. They've successfully covered the number in 4 out of their last 5 away from home. Oklahoma is also a perfect 5-0 against the spread, laying the points. They're putting up 73 points per contest on the offensive side of things. Now, scoring-wise, oddly enough, Oklahoma's 5-2 to the under so far for the year. Notre Dame's 4-3 to the under on their side of things themselves. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it down, and take Oklahoma minus 2 in the under, 143.5 in that one. Next game, Miami, Penn. Is that on the board? It might be. Miami, Penn? No, that is not on my sports app. No love there. Miami, Florida, at Penn, 7 o'clock tip-off. I think that's at the Palestra. But anyway, Penn is the home team in that one. Miami opened the betting as the 4.5-point favorite, and the total at 143.5. And since those markets opened this one up, no real surprises here as Miami took most of the early money. We also seen early money come pouring in on the over as well. Right now, Miami's minus 5.5 with the total moving upward to 144 and a hook. Once again, Miami opened 4.5 up to 5.5. Total open 143 and a hook up to 144.5. 64% are leaning Miami, 63% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Quakers of Penn are plus $2 for some money line cash. Now, Penn's been pretty good against the number for the season thus far. They're 5-2 ATS overall, 3-0 ATS in their games at home. This Penn offense is scoring but this Penn offense is scoring 86 points per contest on their home court. Their defense is also giving up just 66 points per contest for the year. Meanwhile, on the Miami side of things, they failed to cover in 5 out of their last 8. They're also covering just 37% of their ball games when laying the points. And scoring-wise, Miami's just 37% to the over overall for the year. So with all that said and done, I'm going to take another underdog in this one. Give me Penn plus 6 after buying the 0.5 point in the under, 144.5 in that one. All right, couple more games to go here. We have Indiana, Penn State, 7 o'clock tip-off at the Bryce Jordan Center. Penn State open 2.5, now 3.5. Total open 136 up to 136.5. 55% are leaning Indiana, 59% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Hoosiers are plus 145 for some money line cash. Now, Indiana's 5-3 to the under overall for the year, 2-0 to the under in their games on the road. This Indiana defense is allowing just 64 points per contest. Their opponents are shooting 41% from the field. That's all. Meanwhile, on the Penn State side of things, 6 out of their 7 games for the year fell under the line as well. They're 5-0 to the under in their last 5 ball games. This Penn State defense is allowing just 62 points per contest at the Bryce Jordan Center. Their opponents are also shooting just 41% from the field. So I'm really not interested on a play on the sides, but I do like a play on the total. Give me the under 136.5 in that one. Next game, probably not on the board. No, it's not. I'm talking about Evansville at Arkansas State. 8 o'clock tip-off at Arkansas State. Evansville open 1.5 down to 1. Total open 160 all the way down to 155.5. 62% are leaning Evansville. And at the moment, Arkansas State is plus $1.05 for some money lines cash. Now, Arkansas State, pretty bad against the number this year, just 1-5 against the spread overall. They failed to cover in 5 out of their 6 games catching the points. Meanwhile, Evansville on the other side, they're 4-1 ATS overall for the year, 2-0 against the spread laying the points. And scoring-wise, Evansville 5-0 to the over overall, 3-0 to the over away from home. Give me Evansville minus 1 in the over, 155.5 in that one. Next game, Georgia State, Alabama, 8 o'clock tip-off. And that is not on the board, no. Yeah, there is. There we go. Georgia State, Alabama, 8 o'clock tip-off at Alabama. The Crimson Tide opened 7.5 up to 8.5. Total open 144 and a hook down to 144 even. 68% are leaning Bama, 60% shaded toward the under. And at the moment, Georgia State is plus 340 for some money line cash. Now, Bama's just 1-6 against the spread overall for the year. They failed to cover in each and every one of their home games. That was 3 of them they failed to cover in. This Bama defense is allowing 70 points per contest. Their opponents are shooting 46% from the field. Meanwhile, Georgia State, 4-2 against the spread in their games away from home. They are also covering 67% of their ball games as the official road underdog. Now, scoring-wise, Bama is 6-1 to the over in their games overall for the year, 3-0 to the over in their games at home. So with all that said and done, I'm going to take another underdog in this one. Give me Georgia State plus 9 and the over 144 in that one. And that's going to bring me to my next and final game for the show. It is going to be UT Arlington at Mizzou, 8 o'clock tip-off in Mizzou. The Tigers open 12.5 down to 11.5. Total open 134 and a hook down to 134 even. 73% are leaning Mizzou, 66% shaded toward the under. And at the moment, UT Arlington plus 570 for some money line cash. Now, Mizzou's just 2-5 against the spread overall, 0-3 ATS laying the points. Meanwhile, on the scoring side of things, we're looking at 3-4 to the over in Mizzou's 7 games for the year, just 1-2 to the over in their games at home. Meanwhile, UT Arlington is 6-1 to the under overall for the year, 3-0 to the under in their games on the road. So with all that said and done, I'm going to take another underdog in this one. I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it up, and take Utah plus 12 in the under, 134 in that one.